to talk to you about one of the best businesses that you need to start in 2023 that more than likely you could start, you can start today, immediately, and it's one of the best side hustles, and before it gets super regulated, this is going to be shut down before you know it, and you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars if you start a TURO freaking business in 2023. The rental car game as we know it is freaking over. I must have rented 25 TURO cars by now, and I've rented out my car on TURO. You can make between 50 and 250 bucks a day renting out your car. Now, if you're looking for a side hustle, this is fantastic, and I want to talk about all the reasons why. So I want to briefly explain what TURO is. So TURO is basically an app like Airbnb, everybody's familiar with Airbnb, that pairs up a user with a renter. So if I have a car, I can go put my car on TURO today. And if I want to go rent a car in any market that TURO serves, then I can go and rent out that car. So let's say I've got my Porsche Macan on TURO. It's unlisted right now. I've got my Mercedes Sprinter van on TURO. It's unlisted right now. Let's say I need to rent a car right now. Typically what I'd have to go do is I'd have to go to the rental car company. I got to go in there. I got to go fill out all this paperwork. Not anymore. Not with TURO. So I get a Ford Transit wagon for 89 bucks a day. I can get a Tesla Model Y for 100 bucks a day. I get a BMW 2013, 79 bucks a day. I can get a Chevrolet Traverse 2020 for 55 bucks a day. Let's go to Kayak and see what's available for rent today. I can get an intermediate SUV for $162 a day. Volkswagen Passat for $132 a day. I can get a Ford Edge. Now remember, I told you I can get a Tahoe for like 90 bucks a day. I can get a Ford Edge for $233 a day. Basically, everything I just told you was almost half price. And here's the other thing, it's easier. I can get it delivered to me right now, a lot of times for free. The rental car companies cannot compete with this technology. But let's go through the cars that I've rented. So I rented a BMW 4 Series 4. I rented a Cadillac out here in Kansas City several times from the same guy, Jason. He's probably made several $1,000s off of me. I rented a Maserati in Houston, and that was like 80 bucks a day. That's pretty cool. I rented a Ford Fusion 2017. That guy sucked. He had bubble gum on the damn seat. Those are the cars that I rented on TURO. We're going to Austin on Friday, so I'll act like I'm renting a car. Chrysler Pelican. I mean, this is 42 bucks a day, 48 bucks a day. And we saw what it was renting for. The other companies were like 100 bucks a day minimum. So I could actually get a Hyundai Elantra for 36 bucks a day. Smart Fort Wa for 34 bucks a day. I can get a Mercedes-Benz GLA class, 86 bucks a day. An Audi Q7, 100 bucks a day. A Nissan Pathfinder, 78 bucks a day. Now I'm gonna talk to you about how you can benefit. So here's what you want to do if you want to become a badass TURO host, and this is all from experience. First of all, you want to read all their policies and procedures and make sure you understand them. One of the biggest questions I always get is, how does the insurance work? Well, this is how the insurance works, so I'll break it down for you. Number one, if I have a rental car and I'm renting my car, my own rental car policy, my insurance policy generally will cover me. If I am renting out my own car, my insurance will not cover them, but their insurance, if they have their car insurance, will cover me. TURO will sell insurance. I always decline it personally, that's what I do, but you want to get familiar with your policies, your procedures. Generally, the bigger insurance policy that they pay or the one that they make you select is the one that you're going to get this bigger split on. So TURO splits their money based on the insurance policy. The other thing is, what I would do is, as you're renting these cars out, you want to have 90 days of market research. Am I making the most money on the cheap cars? You're not going to. You need to find like the middle ground. You need to find the cars that you can finance, the used cars. And I've talked to hosts that are making 60, 70, 80,000, 90,000, $100,000 a month, and I've asked them exactly what they've done and what their secrets are, what their cheat codes are, how they make all this money. And I can tell you, this is how they're doing it. What they're doing is they're buying lots of cars and they're continually renting them out, and they're always keeping them busy. And they've got one or two guys that are doing drop-offs and clean-outs, right? You wanna make sure you get the subscription at a car wash and you're close to an airport. So what I would recommend that you do is, like, you're always cleaning that thing out, you deliver it clean. That's like common practices, and that you're super competitive on your prices. And I would always recommend, whether it's a rental car, whether it's a rental property, that you're under market value. You look like the best deal. Get professional pictures. You don't need to pay for them, but you need to make sure that your car is staged, that it's polished up, it is staged, it smells good. And then you always want to make sure that you ask for freaking reviews. If you do not ask for reviews, you will not get reviews. The people who ask for my reviews get my reviews. And in exchange, I ask for them to give me a review. Because as a host, I want a review. As a guest, I want a review, so people will rent me. You need to understand the car market too. If you're gonna scale as a Turo host, you need to figure out like, okay, I got it down, I got the customer service down, I got the app down, I got the cleaning the car down, I've got all these things down. How do I scale? So there's a thing in cars, especially when it's a business, called bonus depreciation. So number one, you wanna make sure the cars are in your LLC, not in your personal name. When these cars are bought for your business, you can write off in many times for business, and check with your accountant, 100% of the value today. So let's say you bought a car for $10,000 and you financed it. 0% down, and you financed 100% of the $10,000 car. You rent it out for $100 a day, and your payments are $400. How many days a month you gotta rent that? 4. Easy math. Let's say with insurance, expenses, all that, it's double. You gotta rent it for $800 a day, which is super high. I think it's probably $600. I need to rent it for 8 days to break even and probably make a little bit of money. Second of all, if I rent it for 10 days, I made $200. If I rent it for 15 days, I made $700. Now let's multiply that. If I do that with 3, 4 more cars, now I'm starting to make some real money. I'm making like $4,000 or $5,000, $10,000. I'm making some serious money. This is a good business. Now here's why it's so important to understand about this financing thing. If I am financing this car at $400 a month and I get to take a $10,000 loss, every dollar that I make is tax-free. Did you hear me? It's tax-free. Why do you think these rental car companies make so much money? They get their asset for free on paper and they get to rent it out to you for money. You can do exactly what they do. But one of the best ways, if you want to scale, and this is top secret, nobody's going to be telling you this stuff except for me. I used to own a towing company. Terrible decision. We sold cars for $250 that were worth $4,000 or $5,000. These are the type of cars that were renting out for $40, $50, $60 a day. You could go buy them at tow car auctions, and you don't need clean titles for all this stuff. To get insurance, you don't need clean titles. But a lot of times we would give people clean titles, and they can buy these cars for pennies on the dollars. If you're doing that and you're renting it out on Turo and it's a $1,000 car, guess how quickly you can scale. So I want to make one critical point with Turo. You can do this if you have a car right now. If you got excuses and you're saying, well, I don't have the money to buy a second car, you don't need one. Anybody can do this anywhere. Let me talk about some critical mistakes that you will make as a Turo host. Do not demand that your customer does a bunch of crap. Whether you're an Airbnb host or a Turo host, the customer is king or queen. Provide a seamless process. So most of the Turo hosts, all they do is they put the key in the car, they park it at a certain spot, they let me know where that spot is, and I could go through, if you want a more in-depth, detailed video of exactly how to do this on the Turo app, mention in the comments and I'll walk you through exactly what to do here. A lot of different ways Turo's gonna make you money. You could charge people for car seats, bottles of water. They'll put hand sanitizer in there for me. Bad Turo hosts, they don't clean the car. Don't be the guy who delivers the car to the people. People don't wanna meet you. Do contactless delivery, leave the car in a safe place. Just do yourself a favor and do a contactless delivery so that I don't gotta meet you, I don't gotta talk to you, I just gotta go get my car, I drop it off. That's the whole point. The advantage you have as a Turo host versus renting from Enterprise, Hertz, renting from Dollar, renting from all those other companies is you don't gotta deal with anybody. One of the things that I've found that really helps out is most people that are professional hosts will require me to do a selfie of my ID and myself before I rent the car. And that prevents people from stealing your car. So that's my big tip there, is make people send you a selfie of their driver's license, make sure the driver's license is valid. You want that documentation and you want to make sure that it matches up with the person that is renting the car. And if it doesn't, cancel the reservation and don't rent from them. Scaling. If you want to scale the business, you've got to get financing or you've got to find a way to get more vehicles. And that all comes from having great reviews. So make sure that you ask for reviews, make sure that you keep a car clean, make sure you make the process seamless for people who are renting from you, and make sure that you get started investing in yourself today. If I was younger and if I had more time, this is the easiest way to grow a business. It's cheaper than doing an Airbnb arbitrage. It's cheaper than buying a rental property. And there's not a lot of regulations. Las Vegas just came up with a tax. Like in New Orleans, it happened to me. Kansas City, it's happening right freaking now. Turo is ahead of the curve. They will not catch up for a couple, 3, 4 years. You can make a ton of money. You can then put it into real estate. It's a great way for you to get your toe wet in the business world. Turo, mark my words, will put out of business, all the rental car companies. Comment below, let me know what you liked about this video, let me know what you hated about this video, share this video with a friend, and make sure you take action today. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace. Someone cut open your screen.
It looks like a broken bulb, so probably being used for drugs.
At least they didn't burn down the place.
At least, I mean, clean up after yourself, man, at least.